Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Manu, and I extend a very, very warm welcome to you all to the second edition of the Battery Show India 2024 by Informa Markets. Yes, please be generous with your claps. Thank you so much. Now, moving ahead with the next agenda on our list are presentations. The first presentation that we have is on the topic immersion cooling of batteries, which sounds very interesting and intriguing to me. And the presenter I would like to call upon stage for that is Mr. Harsh Singh, who is at OEM Technical Liaison Manager, Product and Engineering Division, Total Energies. A huge round of applause for Mr. Harsh Singh here, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, the stage is all yours, Harsh. Thank you so much.
Sorry for the little delay in the whole arrangement. So myself, Harsh Singh, and I take care of the technological development with different OEMs, which includes the conventional development as well as futuristic topics. And one of the futuristic topics is immersion cooling technology. I would not say it futuristic. I would have said it futuristic 2 years back. But nowadays, we see different OEMs working on this technology a lot. So there are two types of OEMs. One would be the one who is investing in their R&D, and they have in-house battery designs, and they are working to optimize the performance of their batteries, the safety features of the batteries, and the other OEMs are just the watchdogs. Let's see what other OEMs are doing and how we should do. So I'll just start my presentation very quick. So when we talk about the normal operating temperature of batteries, it is between 15 to 35 degrees Celsius. And when we talk about the charging rates, if we increase the charging rates by twice, like going from 1C to 2C, what will happen that the heat generated will become 4 times because the Joule's law of application. So what happens that in that scenario, if the temperature of the cell is above 35 degrees and if it cross 70 degrees, there's a risk of thermal propagation. And in order to mitigate that thermal propagation, the conventional technique of cooling the batteries is not sufficient. And here the concept of immersion cooling comes into picture. So when we talk about the conventional method of cooling, what happens that it's a very ready to easy solution. There's a simple design. But what are the disadvantages? The disadvantage is that there is no heat uniformity which is obtained inside the battery pack. There is expensive and a heavy system which is involved in the whole thing. You have a thermal pad, you have a cooling plate. Then the efficient heat transfer is not possible. So it is very important that we adopt a new cooling approach so that we mitigate all these challenges with respect to the conventional cooling systems. So where we come into picture is the fluid, not just the fluid, but we also bring into the picture the design of immersion cooling. And what are the advantages of immersion cooling? First, it will be able to support ultra fast charging. You are able to charge your batteries at 2C, 2.5C. Then there is a product which is having a negative carbon footprint. So it is a biodegradable product. So that is also helpful for your environment. Then when we talk about the optimization of the cost and the weight of the battery, it is something which brings into the immersion cooling. So immersion cooling, you have to basically work on the design level of the battery packs, remove some components, add some components, and overall you are able to reduce the cost and the weight of the batteries. And the most important point is that immersion cooling acts as a safety enabler. It mitigates the risk of thermal propagation in the batteries. So we have list of products. I will not go through the list of products, but we have list of products based on different applications. We are catering to stationary applications. We are catering to two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, and commercial vehicle applications. So as a proof of concept, so when we started with this technology, OEMs were asking what are the credible data points you are having with respect to immersion cooling. So we told them that what we can do a proof of concept. So the first proof of concept we did was with Volvo XC90. It was in mass production. And in 2022, we retrofitted the conventional indirect cooling technology of PHEV and retrofitted with our immersion cooling technology. And with that help, we were able to achieve 7 times more cooling efficiency with respect to the indirect cooling. And then we were able to reduce the cost by 8% and weight by 6%. So also we did some abusive test on the battery pack, and we could not find any thermal propagation happening inside with help of a immersion cooling. The next proof of concept we did was with Renault Megane. It's an e-Megane, and it's a pure BEV vehicle with a 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. Here we were again given the opportunity to retrofit the batteries inside the Megane, and here again we were able to demonstrate that how we can improve the charging time, improve the charging efficiency, decrease the charging time, and increase the cooling performance. So this was the module of Megane which we worked upon. It had 12 modules, 4 on each side and then 4 on the separate side. We basically did not change any electronic system. The BMS or the software remained the same. Only we designed a fluid channel. So we basically covered these these 12 modules into 3 immersion modules where the fluid would be flowing inside these modules. The design is proprietary. We cannot show you the inside of that module, what's happening. But we were able to reduce the volume by 10% by removing 2 modules, and we were able to increase the energy density by 5%, and there was no overall mass increase in the battery. So in order to do real life field test, we performed A75 cycle test at 45 degrees. So A75 is one of the highways in France. We run the test for around from 100% SOC to 0% SOC. And the duration of the test was 2 hours, 10 minutes till the battery is showing as low battery. And we were able to go up to speed ranging from 30 to 130 kilometers per hour. And I'll just go to the summary of this slide. By doing this, we were able to increase the mileage of the vehicle by 6% or 12 kilometers. That's a huge achievement with respect to immersion cooling in vis-a-vis indirect cooling. I'll not go into the details. Maybe we can discuss it separately. One more thing, very important, that you can see that in indirect cooling and direct cooling, the charging for 2C phase, for direct cooling, it can go up to 14 minutes, 22 seconds. For indirect cooling, it's ended at 11 minutes. So we can also charge fast, and 0 to 80 we were able to achieve in 25 minutes, whereas in the indirect cooling, it was around 37 minutes. So what is important that we need to know that safety is also an important part of that. The thermal propagation should not happen. So in order to do that, the fluid should have certain properties to prevent thermal propagation. The first property is the auto ignition temperature. So our fluid is having a very high auto ignition temperature, that is around 403 degrees Celsius. Also interesting to note that the boiling point is less than the auto ignition temperature. What happens that when the fire catches inside the battery, the boiling point will reach first and the fluid will evaporate. And once it evaporates, it condenses and takes all the heat. So there is no probability or no risk of fire at all. So I'll just show you a video. So we have done abusive testing. This is when you are just no fluid inside, it's just air. You can see thermocouples attached to the cells, and you can see the thermal propagation happening. So there are 2 thermocouples per cells, and you can see there is fire. This is based on the hydrocarbon-based transformer oil. You could see the same event. There is fumes, and then again it will catch fire. Yeah, you see the fire. And you can also see the thermal propagation happening between the cells. This is the flagship product, Cell Shield. Here you will see that there is fumes, the vapors of the fluid, but again, you will see no fire. Also, there is no thermal propagation. So this we were able to achieve using Cell Shield fluid in our immersion cooling technology. I'll just come to the slide. Yeah, so we also tested one Megane battery, and abusively, we did abusive test. Again, we did not witness any fire. This was the immersion cooling battery of Megane, and again, no fire, even at the thermal propagation. Thermal propagation was there, but it got stopped. There was no fire. So I'll try to cut it very short. The conclusion is that we are ready with the immersion cooling technology. The only challenge for the OEMs and the collaborators is how to do it we know how to do it, and we can help you collaborate and partner with you for the immersion cooling technology. Thank you, guys.
If anyone has any questions for Harsh here, still we have 2 more minutes left. You can go ahead and ask questions. Is there anyone who would like to ask any questions? Yeah.
So we are also available here. We have our booth in Hall 5. You can visit our booth and we can discuss in details about the presentation and the charts, which I could not get the time to explain you properly. So you can visit and visit our booth at Hall 5 B292. Thank you.